What's up, y'all? It's Tisha the Diva, and this is for my ladies. This is my podcast where amazing things happen and we get to talk, discuss, and celebrate real women of color. This is for my ladies is just for you. This podcast is a place where I get to highlight not only my life dreams and goals, but yours too. I believe I was called to create a platform for myself to express not only my thoughts, but those of other women that's unfiltered and untamed. I plan to talk and discuss topics that interest me and other women. I want my audience to be engaged and aware, so any topics, email them to me at tishadediva@gmail.com. What's up, y'all? It's Tisha the Diva, and y'all already know what time it is. This is for my ladies. Welcome back, you all, to another episode of This is for my ladies podcast. I'm your host, Tisha the Diva, and you guys, we are in season 5. We are on episode 90. Oh my gosh, you guys, I am extremely excited to have brought you all 90 podcasts. Just to think, in 10 more episodes, I will be at my 100th episode. Like, how, or would it technically be 11? I don't know. But anyway, y'all, I am extremely excited. Let me tell you guys, so from last week, from It's a Vibe to this week, first of all, I have been doing a lot as far as with working and and also being under the direction of a celebrity stylist and costume designer. When I tell you guys, it takes a lot, and I'm just literally just kind of getting in on the tail end of things. I wasn't even a part of the entire process as far as from start to finish. But, I pretty much kind of had my hands in a little bit of everything since I would say maybe probably Wednesday, maybe a little bit sooner than that. But great news, you all. I went and got a coronavirus test. It came back negative. So kudos and shout out to me. I just want to make sure that not only, is my safe, but, people that I'm around safe. And of course, I also had to take it in order to start with celebrity stylists, as far as to kind of like join the team and come on and, basically, be around her and her staff and all that stuff or whatever, which I totally understand. Totally get it. I know I wouldn't want unknowingly to pass anything to anybody. So getting tested is definitely important. And, speaking of testing and speaking of, passing anything to anybody, this episode, you guys, like, we are going to talk about sex. Like, let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. So, the reason why I decided to talk about this topic, talk about sex, the whole taboo of things, it's either people want to talk about it or people don't want to talk about it and people feel uncomfortable, and I guess the uncomfortability or whatever, of it pretty much could be people not understanding, really what it is and not understanding intimacy or not enjoying it, or, traumatic things happen, in a sexual manner where people are molested, people are raped, people are taken advantage of. And, sometimes that is a very sensitive topic to talk about. And then some people just kind of feel like it's a more intimate topic, so they may not want to verbally speak about it, in a open setting, but, behind closed doors. But I came across this video of a couple. Let me see if I can pull the video up. But pretty much the couple was stating how the pressure of getting married, but only to deny your spouse sex. And the gentleman, he was just saying how, his wife put the pressure on him, and how, put the pressure on him to marry him. But then, she makes sex feel like a chore, like it's a problem for him to always want her, and for, and I don't know if it's just like their relationship, but I mean, I'm pretty sure that they were candidly speaking about their marriage and I guess the lack thereof in sex. And, she was just pretty much beating around the bush. He kept asking her a bunch of questions and she really wasn't saying anything. And I get what she's saying, as far as, okay, she didn't want to continue to be living with her boyfriend at the time, just shacking up. If they were going to be living together, she wanted to be living with him as his wife. So, he proposed to her, and then she was just like, I engaged for a year, married within a year, and all that stuff. And he was just saying that's pressure, only to have given her that. And then, she denies him of sex or don't want to have sex. And she just talk about, 26-year-old or 36-year-old and all that stuff. And if she would have known that monogamy was just always trying to reach a level of sexual pleasure, sexual desire for her man, she probably would have rethought about, marriage. She would have rethinked marriage. Think isn't even a word, but anyway, I don't think it is. I definitely don't think it is. Don't even sound right. But anyway, she just would have, changed her mind about the whole situation. And, she was just saying, as a mother, as a wife, her sex drive has completely changed. And, my sister, she was just saying how, it sucks that, when you do become married and you do have children, sometimes sex does seem like a chore. It's like, dang, do I want to do it tonight? Do I want to do it this morning? Or, do I have time to squeeze it in and all that stuff or whatever? And maybe just as I'm not married, but me personally, I don't think there's anything wrong with literally just establishing a healthy number of how many times we're going to have sex. I mean, I know people who literally was just like, oh yeah, it's Wednesday, I'm going to get some butt from my wife, or I'm going to get, some penis from my husband. I actually know people who have told me that, their significant other did actually schedule sex. And I just think that that's extremely weird. Okay, let me put on the calendar, let me pencil you in, when you're going to drop those drawers. Who has time for that? I mean, if it's like that, then I don't even think that I even want to have children. If children and all that stuff is going to stop any type of intimacy between man and woman, or woman and woman, man and man, whatever you do, that's your business. I honestly do not care. But if it's going to be like that, then yeah, I don't, especially when you have kids and your sex drive, decreases. Who wants that? But maybe that's just a woman thing. Maybe that really is a woman thing. I know as for me in my house, and personally speaking, I know sometimes it's just if I feel that the man is not taking care of me in a proper way, as far as providing and that mental stability, just that connection, I probably, my sex drive probably would be low too, because it's just I probably just don't sexually desire you. So it's just at that point, what's the conversation that needs to be had? How do you, say to a person I love you, I care for you, but you're not pleasing me, or I don't think that sexually this is working. And some people are afraid to have those questions. Those conversations. Some people literally do not have the space or the room or the capacity to even handle that. That's just this is for my ladies. We're, like I say, we're raw, unfiltered, and untamed. How do you let a man know that, you're not sexually pleasing me, or I don't like that? Some people, I know a lot of women that just literally would just deal with it, like having just bad sex. And that's not right. That's not fair when, we're human beings. We're sexual human beings. Like we need sex in order to just like one, not only just procreate, but even just the whole energy exchange. Like literally, like, have you ever had a headache and you probably like had some sex and your headache just went away? Like, it's healthy. It's healthy. But you just want to make sure that you're talking to your spouse, that you're, or, whomever, like your significant other, and you letting them know what your needs are, that you're communicating, that you are trying new things, that you literally together want to try them, not just to please a person. And speaking of pleasing, you know, and we're talking about sex, threesomes. Let's talk about that. I know for some people, a lot of women, their man, asks them, let's have a threesome and all that stuff or whatever. And some women like, okay, whatever floats your boat. If that's your thing, do your thing. But some women, not even attracted to women, not even attracted to women sexually, but their man wants a threesome. But like, okay, if your man wants a threesome with another woman, can you not request that you have a threesome with another man? And people probably like clutching your pearls. But is that not the same thing? People be like, nah, that's running a train. That's the same thing. That is the same thing. Call it what you want. Call it what you want. But dudes ain't about to go for that. They're not about to go for like having, a threesome with another man being there. I mean, some dudes do, but you know what? They call it running the train or whatever. No, you just had a threesome. You just had a bisexual experience. Like I said that before. I've said that before up here, and it just makes me chuckle. Because like some guys, they disagree, they don't agree, like, oh no, but that's just what it is. I don't care what anybody says. If you in a relationship, you can ask your man right now, he probably is gonna like be like, nah, I ain't no, that's a bisexual experience. And they don't want to admit that because they have air quoted ran trains on women with other dudes meet out and all that stuff, whether y'all touch each other or not, or any of that stuff. It is what it is. And whatever you like, that's your business. That's your business. Like, own it. Let me take a little sip of this Canada Dry. But anyway, so yes, you all. But sex should be definitely a pleasurable thing that two people or whomever. We have all types of sexual relationships. We have bisexual, we have transsexual, we have homosexual, we have pansexual. And then we have different relationships like, polygamy, polyandry, polyamory, just all those different type of relationships, where a man is allowed to have more than one wife, or a woman is allowed to have more than one husband, or a person is able to have more than one lover. But, these are conversations. These are healthy conversations that people must have as far as, this is just what I want. This is what I like. This is what I'm into. And you have to give people that respect and that space to share how you feel and what you want, and to allow them to make that decision if that's what they want to do, if that's what they're for, if that's what they're down with. Some people, man and woman, will do things, strictly for the pleasure of the other person. And that's great and all, and that's great if you are actually receiving pleasure from it as well. But if you're not receiving pleasure from it, then then what really is that? That's a disappointment. That's shame. It's all of those things. You want to make sure that, when you have sex, that it is that energy exchange, that is that connection, that you don't feel like somebody just literally took from you. Somebody has taken something away from you that you can't get back. And I had made a post that had said, yeah, I know I'm out here in California, and I had made a post, and I was just like, before I start OnlyFans, I'm about to start a GoFundMe, so that I could raise money, to basically, get my car out here, just like some other things or whatever. So I met a sex worker at my job. She had came out there, had a couple cocktails, and was just talking to her. And then she shared that she was a sex worker. And I was like, oh my God, I would love to have you on my podcast. It's called This Is For My Ladies. It's raw, filter, and untamed. We talk about, everything, anything and everything that deals with women, and just making sure just the betterment of women, the uplifting and the empowering of women. This is not a man bashing. This is not a Nas, a niggas ain't shit podcast. It's not that. That's not what you're going to get. When you listen to this, when you listen to this for my ladies, I mean, especially, my mission, my goal is, when you listen to it, that you leave with something that you're able to apply now, even a think piece, a conversation, anything. That's what I want to give people. Not just like, oh, dudes this, dudes that, niggas this, niggas that. No, I don't. That's just not even this space. That's not even this platform. So anyway, my post must have kind of rubbed because I followed her, the lady that I had met, that's the sex worker. I had followed her on Instagram. I was just like, let's connect, because I definitely want you to come up here and just talk about what it is that you do, and the whole stigma, of being a sex worker, and just, because I'm pretty sure there is, like, oh, you're a hoe, you're a prostitute, you're this, you're that. And I, wanted her to come up here. So I made that post about before I started OnlyFans, about to do a GoFundMe. And she was just pretty much saying that she thinks that I have the wrong, like, impression of, what a sex worker is, and what OnlyFans is, and all that stuff. And I was just, I had to let her know, like, I know my audience. I know that what I say is, not only a joke, and I know that people that know me, and I know that my audience know that it's a joke. I've been talking about doing an OnlyFans since, like, OnlyFans really, like, came out on the scene, and not just like, oh, to be on OnlyFans having sex and, doing all type of stuff, but OnlyFans to just be me, to do what I like to do, like, y'all been seeing the reels and all that stuff, little different stuff like that. The people just kind of like get to see me and get to know me and all that stuff. And, I said, I understand that, definitely understand, that OnlyFans is just more than a platform for people to go up there and just have sex. I know that it's a platform that people are able to express themselves and their talents to their fans, and however way that they see fit and see possible. So I said my little spiel and all that stuff or whatever. She ain't never messaged me back, because I know what I'm talking about. Like, I don't treat anybody any type of way or judge anybody, like, as far as like what they do. We have people who are into, like, financial dominatrix, where, people literally get paid to dominate people. Men pay women so that women can walk them on a leash. I mean, shit. If I could get paid to walk somebody on a goddamn leash, I would fucking do it. But what we call that? A dog walker. But anyway, anyway, I get it. I definitely understand it. It's nothing that I don't get. It's nothing that I don't understand. That's like Suki Hana. Y'all know who the Suki girl is or whatever. Maybe y'all don't, maybe y'all do. But just look her up or whatever. And I know she had made a post that said about women talking about, having, self-esteem and low self-esteem and, having relations with men and wanting something and wanting financial gain or gifts or whatever it is. And pretty much I guess she received some backlash, or there's a lot of women who pretty much are against, women, wanting men for what they can provide them and all that stuff, whatever. And she was just saying, have your mothers taught you nothing? Like, you don't lay down with the man that doesn't give you anything. You don't be with a man. You don't just give yourself to a man and you not receive anything in return. Call it what you want. Call it prostitution. Call it what you want. I call it a man being a man being a provider, or whatever it is, a relationship, like whatever it is. I don't think that any woman who, and again, that's just like a negative stigma that has been put on, I guess, women who have sex for money or, whatever, okay, yes, we call it a prostitute, but that's her job. She's a sex worker. She's using her body on everything that comes with it to pay her bills. And whatever a woman decides to do, then, let her do that. Let her be that. Let her proclaim and profess whatever she is, because that's just the titles and names and the stigmas that we give people. But if it wasn't like that, if society, if the whole patriarchy didn't say that, oh yeah, that's a prostitute because she has sex for money and all that stuff, would it even be a thing? Would it even be a topic of discussion? It's just like, and then women judge other women for what they do. Are we not all still fighting the same fight, going through the same thing? We all experience the same, not everybody, similar struggles and all that stuff or whatever. But it's not for me to judge you. Some people just judge you because they actually mad. Like, some people are actually mad and probably wish they could do it. And if they had the balls, they would do it. But they don't, because they don't have, the courage or whatever to do it. So they just judge other people. But, if the shoe was on the foot and it was in another situation, or, if they was in a different state or somewhere else where ain't nobody know them, that's just like women who decide to strip and they go to another city, another state to strip because they don't want nobody to see them or know what they're doing. Yeah, of course they, feel ashamed or feel embarrassed or whatever. But that's nothing to be ashamed or embarrassed about. I mean, so who cares? You was in there and you was giving me money. Like, I mean, it is what it is, And people also need to look at it like, the more people that's talking about you, there's just more people who's gonna know who you are. Who's gonna, who they talking about? How many times, somebody, or even with social media, people be like, I'm not about to give this person no clout, because the moment that they mention the person's name, they look at them and they see, oh, let me follow them. And they followers go up and go up and go up or whatever. Get it how you live. Get it how you live. It's do your thing. Do your thing. Just make sure that, you're safe and that you are having those hard and difficult conversations. Let people know, what your, sexual status is, like what your anything as far as like results or any type of whatever that you may have. That's important that you let people know. You'll be surprised at, how many people literally just are afraid to say something or what they want or what they have, thinking like, oh, judgment, or that person not gonna fuck with me, or, you know, they're not gonna like me, or they're gonna tell my business and all that stuff or whatever. That's where you have to understand, you know, and use your, you know, a spirit of discernment, and getting to know a person, genuinely getting to know a person. Because if you just out here to be fucking, you know, people would do whatever. They'll pass along whatever, not tell you, you know, anything or whatever. They just do whatever. That's sick and disgusting. That's like, that really, really is. But there are people who do that. But it's important to just, as human beings, as just respectable human beings and people of integrity, to make sure that anytime you're changing a partner or whatever, one, you want to make sure that you use protection, like whatever. Unless, you know, y'all decided that, you know, we're going to see each other exclusively. This is just you and I, me and you know. But I still highly recommend that even before getting sexually involved with somebody, especially if you're going to see each other exclusively, go get tested. You know, and discuss that, and discuss whatever it is that, you know, that you two may have going on, or one may have going, like whatever. Discuss it. Because, you know, sometimes a lot of stuff is just all about education, and, you know, a person being knowledgeable about what's going on, or, you know, what's happening, or what could happen, or what's the possibilities and all that stuff or whatever. I just highly, highly encourage anybody to make sure that you have those conversations with people. And speaking of, you know, like a conversation with people, back to like the video, you know, with the husband and the wife, I decided to, you know, show my friend the video. And I was just like, you know, well, what do you think about this? And, you know, he was pretty much saying how, you know, monogamy is a choice. Monogamy is a choice. You could champion to be monogamous, or you could champion to not be monogamous. Like, it's totally up to you. Yes, a person can put the air quote pressure on you, but is it something that you want to do? If it's something that you want to do, and if this is a person that you can actually see yourself settling down with, all right, we're going to make the choice to go ahead and just do this thing. We're going to make the choice to go ahead and get married. So that's why I kind of get where sis was coming from. Like, I didn't put a gun up to your head and say that, you know, you're going to marry me and all that stuff or whatever. But you have the choice to say, I'm going to only be with this person. You have that choice. Or you can have the choice to say, you know what? I want to continue to see other people and date other people. And just because you date other people, that does not mean that, you know, you have to be casually just out here having sex with people. But if you just casually have sex with people, that's totally fine. That's just what you do. But again, protect yourself. And it's so funny because my friend was saying that, you know, that's street sex, as far as, you know, two people being together and, you know, like using a condom and all that stuff or whatever. And I was just like, that's crazy. I mean, I get it, and that's that. But at the same time, that's just like women who don't take birth control, and a dude that, you know, don't want to wear a condom, but just want to pull out. But it's just like you, and again, birth control is a again, it's a male thing. Men, you know, men created birth control. That was something that, so that they could just shoot up inside of a woman and just dispose and dump of themselves into a woman, and she just not get pregnant, and he don't have to, you know, accept the responsibilities, you know, that comes with a life that's created. Why should I have to be on birth control, and I don't want to, and it affects my body in the most negative way? The most negative way. Birth control is not good for women. It's not good for you. It's not good for your body. The longevity of it, you know, of what birth control does is not healthy. no woman should be taking birth control, but there are actual natural herbs and all that stuff that a woman can take just with a little bit of research. Natural herbs that, a woman can take if they decided, that they don't want to, have a baby and all that stuff or whatever, that will literally like do its thing. So it's important to make sure that, one, you're taking care of yourself, you're going to get tested, that you're protecting yourself, that you have those conversations, that you know your partner. I mean, we don't know every single thing that they're going to do, but I just really encourage people to have those conversations with your spouse. You all have those hard conversations. And that's pretty much all I got for this week, because this podcast is about to run out. So, make sure you all tune into This Is For My Ladies every Tuesday. I'm Tisha the Diva, and I'm out.